Okay, so let's address the elephant in the room right away.
Let's do it.
Whenever a new technology drops, whether it was, the internet back in the 90s or mobile apps or even crypto, there's this initial wave of just pure awe.
Yeah, that honeymoon phase.
Right. You look at it, you play with it, maybe you get a little freaked out by it even. But then inevitably the universal question kicks in. The question that is definitely lurking in the back of everyone's mind right now while they're just staring at a blinking cursor in Chat GPT.
Which is, how do I actually make money with this?
Exactly. Like, this is cool, sure.
Yeah.
But how do I actually monetize it?
It's the only question that matters eventually. And frankly, it's usually where the hype train just goes completely off the
Oh,
rails. You
absolutely.
get a tremendous amount of noise, a lot of those get-rich-quick schemes, people selling generic prompts for 99 cents, and very little substance on the actual mechanics of economic value creation.
Yeah, and that is exactly why I wanted to pull this specific source material for our deep dive today. We are looking at a transcript from day 5 of a pretty comprehensive 30-day AI series.
Hmm.
Now, for context for you listening, if you've been following along with the broader conversation around this, usually the focus is on the why,
Mm.
like the urgency, the philosophy behind it, maybe the existential risk. But this is purely the how.
The nuts and bolts.
Right, absolute
It
mechanics.
really is. And what I appreciate about this specific Day 5 transcript is that it acts as a filter. It explicitly strips away that whole, push a button and get cash narrative.
Yeah.
The goal here is to move away from the abstract anxiety about AI replacing us and move toward concrete tiered strategies on how to use these tools to build income. It is highly grounded in what actually works right now.
Not what might work in 5 years.
Exactly. Not the sci-fi stuff. It rejects what it calls the lottery ticket mentality. And I think we really need to start there because that mindset shift is the absolute prerequisite for everything else.
For sure. The source draws a really hard line between the lottery ticket mindset and the multiplier mindset.
And this distinction is critical. The lottery ticket mindset is the trap that catches, well, almost all beginners. It's this expectation that the tool itself is the business.
Right.
You sit back, you input a generic prompt, and you just wait for the payout. You think, I'll just tell the AI to write a best-selling novel, publish it on Amazon, and then I'll retire to a beach.
Or I'll tell the AI to generate 1,000 t-shirt designs and I'm going to be the next fashion mogul by Tuesday.
Exactly. And the source argues that if you approach it this way, expecting the AI to do 100% of the work while you sleep, you are guaranteed to be disappointed. AI isn't a magic wand, it's an engine.
Yeah.
And an engine sitting in a garage doesn't go anywhere without a driver.
Okay, so if the lottery ticket is the trap, the multiplier is the path. Break down the formula the source gives us for that.
It's a remarkably simple equation. AI plus a skill equals monetization.
AI plus a skill.
Yeah.
So the AI doesn't replace human competence at all, it just leverages it.
Think about it mathematically. If you have 0 skills, like your human input is 0, and you multiply that by 1,000,000,
Which is the power of the AI.
right, which is the AI,
Great.
what do you get?
You still get 0.
Still 0. AI is the million, but you need to provide that non-zero number to multiply against. You need a direction or a specific taste level, a service, some kind of domain expertise. If you treat AI as a tool to amplify a skill you already have, or even when you're actively learning, that is where the returns become completely exponential.
It's kind of like giving a pneumatic nail gun to someone who has never even built a birdhouse versus giving it to a master carpenter.
That's a great way to look at it.
The carpenter isn't really working harder, they're just building the house 10 times faster. The amateur with the nail gun is just putting holes in the drywall and probably injuring themselves.
That is the perfect analogy. The carpenter understands the structure of the house. The AI just handles the manual labor of driving the nails. And this multiplier effect is the foundation for the 3 specific levels of monetization the source breaks down. We're going to walk through all of them: services, personal brand, and consulting.
I love a good tiered system. It really helps structure the chaos of this whole topic. So let's start right at the ground floor. Level 1. The source calls this AI-assisted services, or, as I kind of like to think of it, the secret weapon approach.
This is definitely the most accessible entry point for most people. It's essentially freelancing, but with a massive turbocharger. You aren't building software. You aren't training large language model.
Coding required.
Right. You're offering a standard service that business is already paying for, but you're using AI to drastically reduce your execution time.
So the source lists things like social media, content creation, caption writing, blog writing, resume optimization, even AI-enhanced graphic design, standard Upwork fare, really.
Hmm.
But here's where I want to push back just a little bit.
Okay, go ahead.
If everyone in the world has access to ChatGPT or Claude, why on earth would anyone pay me to write their captions? Why doesn't the business owner just do it themselves?
That is the most common objection by far, but it completely ignores the reality of how actual business owners operate. It comes down to two things: time and what the source calls the black box theory.
Okay, explain the black box.
So the black box theory essentially states that clients, meaning the businesses paying you, generally do not care how the sausage is made. They only care about the result.
Right.
If a business needs 5 SEO-optimized blog posts a week to keep their Google ranking up, they do not care if you spent 20 hours typing them by hand or 2 hours editing and refining AI outputs.
They just want the web traffic. They want the outcome.
Exactly. And regarding your point about why don't they just do it themselves, most business owners are entirely overwhelmed. They know they could use AI to write their emails, just like they know they could clean their own office floors or do their own taxes.
But they don't.
Right, they pay someone else to do it so they can focus on high-level strategy and running the actual business. There is a massive gap between knowing a tool exists and actually opening it up, prompting it correctly, editing the output, and formatting it for publication.
And that execution gap is exactly where the money is.
Precisely. And the value proposition for the freelancer here isn't, hey, I use AI. In fact, you might not even mention AI to the client at all. The value proposition is simply, I can deliver high-quality work faster and more reliably than anyone else.
Which leads to the major economic benefit for the freelancer here, which is arbitrage.
It is pure arbitrage. You are arbitraging the difference between the perceived market value of the output and the actual effort required to produce it.
Make that concrete for me.
Sure. If the market rate for a 1,000-word article is $200, because it usually takes a human 4 hours to write, but you can produce a high-quality version in 45 minutes using AI as a drafter and research assistant.
Your effective hourly rate just skyrocketed.
Exactly. It just jumped from $50 an hour to over $250 an hour.
It's a massive raise without actually raising your prices to the client. You aren't charging them more, you're just working less for the exact same output.
And that is the very definition of leverage. You detach your income from your time. That is level 1.
Okay, so that's working for clients. That is trading time for money, albeit highly, highly efficient time. But what if you don't want to answer to a client? What if you want to build equity in yourself?
That brings us to level 2.
The AI-enhanced personal brand.
Yes, this is a big shift in focus. Instead of using that leverage for client work, you turn the AI inward, on yourself. This is all about audience growth and brand building. And the core problem AI solves here is friction.
Friction is the enemy of every content creator. We all start with these big ambitions, right? Like, I'm going to post on LinkedIn every day, or I'm starting a YouTube channel right now. And then by day 4, we're tired, we're out of ideas, the video editing takes way too long, and we just quit.
The valley of death for creators. It's so common. The source argues that when friction disappears, consistency naturally increases. And we all know the golden rule of the internet economy. Consistency leads to audience growth. And audience growth creates the surface area for luck and ultimately income.
But let's get really specific here. How does AI actually remove that friction? Are we just talking about having it generate generic tweets? Because nobody wants to follow a bot.
No, definitely not. And this is a crucial point. The source emphasizes that AI is best used for distribution, not necessarily original ideation. The repurposing workflow is the killer app at this level.
Taking one single asset and turning it into 10.
Exactly. Let's say you, the human, have a unique insight. You record a 10-minute video rant about your specific industry. That requires your unique brain and experience. That is the signal. But everything that happens after you hit stop recording, that is usually pure friction.
Oh, yeah. Transcribing it, editing out the pauses, writing the YouTube description, finding the right hashtags.
Right, it's exhausting. But now, AI can ingest that video file. It can transcribe it instantly. It can extract the 3 best hooks for Twitter threads. It can write a professional LinkedIn post based on your core argument. It can draft a newsletter for your subscribers. It can even script a 60-second TikTok summary of the video.
Wow. So you created the value once, and the AI multiplied the distribution by 10.
That's it. You provide the signal, the original thought, and AI handles the logistics. It completely unblocks the distribution bottleneck. And the source also mentions building digital products here, which is huge. The barrier to entry to write an ebook or launch a course has basically collapsed.
This is a big one. I think a lot of experts out there have a book in them or a course in them, but the idea of sitting down and organizing 50,000 words is just paralyzing.
It's totally daunting. But if you have the knowledge, AI helps you structure, outline, and draft that knowledge into a sellable product. You can literally feed it your messy, disorganized voice notes and say, organize this into a coherent 12-chapter outline.
It turns a 6-month writing project into a 2-week project. Easily.
So level 1 is optimized service work. Level 2 is building an asset, your brand, that pays you over time. Now we get to level 3. The source calls this consulting and automation. And honestly, this sounds like the heavy hitter. The source actually refers to this as the blue ocean.
It is the highest level of value mentioned in the Day 5 transcript. This is where you stop just creating content, like text or images, and start actually rewiring how a business operates. You're stepping in and helping businesses automate their core workflows.
But again, let me play devil's advocate for a second.
Go for it.
If I walk into a local business and say, hey, I can automate your email responses, won't they just say, yeah, we saw that on Twitter 6 months ago, we're good?
Yeah.
Isn't this market already saturated?
That is the internet bubble talking. And the source makes a very sharp observation here regarding market reality versus internet reality. While your Twitter or LinkedIn feed might be absolutely saturated with AI news every second, the real world, the local bakery, the law firm downtown, the plumbing dispatch center, they are completely different.
They aren't on tech Twitter all day. They are struggling just to keep the lights on. They are drowning in admin work. They don't know how to use Zapier, let alone build a custom GPT agent. The source points out that these mainstream businesses are way, way behind. They are operating with 2010 technology in a 2026 world.
So the real opportunity isn't in trying to compete with the top 1% of AI researchers at OpenAI.
Not at all.
The opportunity is helping the 99% of businesses who haven't even taken the first step yet.
Yes, it is all about being the bridge. You don't have to be a genius coder to do this. You just need to know slightly more than the business owner about how to connect tool A to tool B.
Can you give me a concrete example of this? What does an AI workflow actually look like for a regular, everyday business? Say, a plumber.
Sure, let's look at a plumber. What is a plumber's biggest daily pain point?
Missed calls.
Exactly. A plumber misses a call because he's physically under a sink fixing a pipe. Both of his hands are busy. That missed call is lost revenue because the customer has a leak and they just immediately call the next plumber on Google.
Right, they aren't going to wait around.
An AI automation consultant could come in and set up a remarkably simple system. When a call is missed, an AI agent instantly texts the customer back saying, hey, sorry I missed you. I'm currently on a job. What's the issue?
Okay.
The customer replies, my toilet is overflowing. The AI classifies that as a high-priority emergency, checks the plumber's digital calendar, and books a slot or sends an urgent alert to the plumber's phone immediately.
And that is not science fiction. That isn't some future tech we're waiting on. That is basic automation using tools available right now, today.
But to that plumber, that system is practically magic. It's worth thousands of dollars a month in saved jobs. That is exactly why Level 3 commands the highest rates. You aren't just saving them a little time, you're directly capturing revenue that was actively leaking out of their business.
Leaking. Pun intended.
Unintended, but I'll take it. The point is, you are solving highly expensive problems. And because the perceived value of capturing lost revenue is so high, the consulting fee you can charge is substantial.
Okay, so we have the 3 levels. Level 1 is services, doing the work faster. Level 2 is brand, growing your audience faster. Level 3 is consulting, fixing businesses faster. It sounds very straightforward.
It is.
But, and there is always a but, the source dedicates a significant portion of this Day 5 transcript to a major psychological block. The thing that actually stops people from doing any of this.
The ready myth.
Yes. I'm not an expert yet. I need to take another 6-week course. I need to wait for GPT-5 to come out. I don't have a computer science degree.
It is classic analysis paralysis. The source identifies this clearly. We have been conditioned by our educational system to think we need permission or a degree or a formal certification before we can start charging for a skill. We think we need to know absolutely everything about AI before we can use it professionally.
But in this specific field, everything changes every single week. If you wait until you know everything, you are literally going to be waiting forever. By the time you master one tool, 3 new ones have replaced it.
Exactly. And the source redefines value in a way that I find really empowering for beginners. It says, you get paid for solving problems, not for knowing everything.
That is a bumper sticker right there. You get paid for solving problems.
Think about it in the real world. Does your car mechanic know everything about every single car ever manufactured in history? No. He knows how to fix your specific transmission issue. That's why you gladly pay him.
Right.
If you know 10% more than the client about an AI tool, and that 10% solves their burning problem, you are an expert to them. You don't need to be an absolute grandmaster. You just need to be helpful.
So ready is a myth. But the source doesn't just leave us with a nice platitude there. It gives a very specific, almost aggressive, actionable first step. And I was actually surprised by this because it goes against what almost all business gurus say online.
It really does. Usually you hear things like, first, build a website, design a cool logo, incorporate your LLC, print up some business cards.
Yeah.
This source says, do absolutely none of that.
Don't build the website.
No, because building a website is often just productive procrastination.
Oh, that's so true.
It feels like work. You're picking out fonts, you're writing a clever About Me page, but it does not generate income. It's basically a way of hiding. The source says the simplest, most effective first move is to just find one person. Just one.
So we aren't trying to boil the ocean here. Who exactly are we looking for?
You look for a specific target with a visible problem. For example, a content creator who is clearly struggling with consistency, someone who posts sporadically, someone who has really good ideas but clearly bad execution. You find them and you make a specific offer.
And what does that offer sound like? Because just saying, I can help you with AI is way too vague. They'll ignore it.
Correct. Vague offers always get ignored. You have to say, I noticed you haven't posted a video in a week. I can take your last YouTube video and turn it into 5 Twitter threads and 3 LinkedIn posts by tomorrow morning. Or I can rewrite your landing page copy to double the conversion rate using this new framework.
Specific,
Yeah.
tangible, and super low risk for the client.
Exactly. And then you deliver the results. You just do the work. You prove it. The source heavily emphasizes that you need to gain proof, because proof creates confidence.
This is the concept it calls the confidence loop.
Yes. Most people wait to feel confident before they take action. They think, well, once I feel confident in my AI skills, then I'll start selling. The source argues the exact opposite. You act to gain proof, and the proof gives you the confidence.
That makes so much sense.
You do the job, you see it actually work, you realize, oh, I can actually do this, and then you have the guts to charge the next person double.
It effectively removes the risk of starting. You aren't launching a massive scaled agency on day one. You're literally just helping one guy write tweets faster. It lowers the stakes so much that you can actually just begin.
And that ties right back to the whole multiplier mindset we started with. You are taking action using the tool to solve a real problem. That is the only way to monetize. The lottery ticket person is still sitting there waiting for the perfect time to buy the ticket. The multiplier person is already out there digging.
I think that is the perfect place to start wrapping our heads around all of this. We have covered a lot of ground today. We started with that fundamental shift from the lottery ticket to the multiplier. You have to bring the skill, and AI brings the leverage.
And we walked through those 3 distinct levels. Level 1, services, which is freelancing with a superpowered assistant. Level 2, personal brand, using AI to remove the friction of content creation. And level 3, consulting, helping those real-world businesses finally catch up to the automation age.
And most importantly, we debunked the ready myth, the idea that you need to be a world-class expert before you can be helpful to anyone.
Which actually brings us to the final cautionary note from the source material. It teases the next day's topic in the series, but it really stands on its own as a crucial piece of advice. Speed without direction is chaos.
Ooh, that hits home. It is so easy to get caught up in the doing of it all, generating thousands of images, writing millions of words, just because you can do it so quickly now.
Right. Just because you can generate 1,000 blog posts in an hour doesn't mean you actually should. If you don't have a strategy, a real direction for that speed, you are just creating more noise. Leverage always requires a fulcrum. You need to know exactly where to apply the pressure. AI makes you fast, but you still have to steer the car.
That's a great point. So as we sign off, I want to leave you, the listener, with a thought to mull over. It's something that really stuck with me from this deep dive.
Let's hear it.
We talked about how ready is a myth. We talked about how the only thing stopping most people is the feeling that they need permission to start. So here is the question. If the only thing stopping you is a feeling, and that feeling is a lie, what is the actual dollar amount cost of waiting until tomorrow to make that first offer?
Wow, that is a heavy question. Every single day you wait is a day of compound interest. You're not earning on your own skills.
Exactly. The source material says the real opportunity is right now because we are early, but early doesn't last forever. So find your leverage point, find that one person you can help, and stop waiting to be ready. Thanks for diving in with us today.
See you next time.